That was House Freedom Caucus Chairman Mark Meadows, who is leading the effort to impeach Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. Rosenstein, who oversees the Mueller investigation, has come under fire by House conservatives who accuse him of stonewalling on their requests for documents related to the FBI's handling of Hillary Clinton emails and the agency's use of FISA warrants. Well, members of the Freedom Caucus say they will give the FBI until September to turn over documents, but Democrats are calling the move nothing more than an effort to undermine Robert Mueller. Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, who sits on the House Judiciary Committee, also weighed in, tweeting, "Republican cover-up caucus introduced articles of impeachment against Deputy Attorney General. Take a hike." Congressman Jeffries of the 8th District here in New York joins me now on set. Let me just get your reaction to this. This dropped over these last few days. You're on recess now. It's the district work period. Pick what you want to call it. But things have scattered. Have cooler heads prevailed at this point? How serious do you think your more conservative colleagues on the Republican side are about this effort?
Well, it remains to be seen. The Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, indicated that these charges in no way rose to the serious level of high crimes and misdemeanors. I think the view amongst all of us on the Hill, Democrats and hopefully reasonably minded Republicans, is that these articles of impeachment are not worth the paper that they're written on. And it exposes the great hypocrisy of the Republican Party. They've claimed for years that they are the party of the rule of law. Yet they have regularly supported a president who has gone after the FBI, gone after the special prosecutor, gone after career law enforcement officials, and now they've put forth articles of impeachment against the Republican-appointed Deputy Attorney General for nothing short of his alleged failure to turn over documents. Are you kidding me? When we have a president of the United States whose campaign possibly engaged in a criminal conspiracy with Russian spies to sell out our democracy and undermine the elections in 2016 and artificially place someone at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and yet the so-called cover-up caucus has nothing to say about that. But they want to impeach Rod Rosenstein on documents. It's just, it's a joke.
You mentioned that the House Speaker has addressed this. Let's take a little listen to what Paul Ryan had to say about this effort here by conservatives in his caucus.
Do I support impeachment of Rod Rosenstein? No, I do not. Since I got involved, I've been getting a lot of compliance from DOJ on the document requests. We do not have full compliance, and we have to get full compliance, but we've been making tremendous progress to that point.
Congressman Jeffries, let's go back to that hearing where the Deputy Attorney General testified. There were a lot of fireworks. This came up. The issue of documents came up. He defended himself, defended his department very vociferously. Was that a turning point here? In other words, when you look at what these conservatives are trying to do here, how out of step does that seem with Paul Ryan and the rest of the Republican Party?
Well, what the cover-up caucus is trying to do is to distract from the ongoing serious criminal investigation into the Trump campaign and try to create this fantasy and this fiction and this fallacy that this legitimate investigation is a witch hunt. What perplexes me about that whole argument is that every single person involved in the alleged witch hunt is a Republican. James Comey, who started the criminal investigation back in 2016, is a Republican. Rod Rosenstein, who's overseeing the current investigation, Republican. Christopher Wray, the current FBI director, appointed by Donald Trump, Republican. And of course, Bob Mueller is a long-standing Republican who was incredibly well-respected coming into this appointment and has served his country. So this is all just a charade. It's a kangaroo court. It is a three-ring circus that is designed to distract, but we as Democrats are going to keep our eye on the prize. We're going to call it what it is, but then focus on governing for the people to make life better for everyday Americans, not for the wealthy, the well-off, special interests, mega corporations, big donors.
Before he left for New Jersey for the weekend, President Trump spoke on the South Lawn of the White House, and he talked about the economy, he talked about trade, he talked about the recent GDP read, and it became clear that that's going to be what he's going to be campaigning on as we head to November. You're going to be out hitting the streets in Brooklyn, elsewhere in New York, campaigning for Democrats. I want to ask you about this issue in particular. You're going to keep your eye on the prize and all of that entails when you look at the Democrats' plan. What's your sense of the degree to which voters care about this issue, about the Russia investigation? You talk about letting it play its course, run its course. And is that something that you hear from constituents, that they want that to happen? How much is this front of mind for those that you're talking to in Prospect Heights or elsewhere in New York State?
Well, one of the reasons why Democrats have indicated in our conversations with the American people that we're going to be focused on pocketbook issues is because we know when we're out talking to our constituents that they care about things like the health care costs that are skyrocketing out of control and that the Republicans are making worse, not better, as a result of their attacks on the Affordable Care Act. We're going to work to drive down health care costs, strengthen the Affordable Care Act, and dramatically reduce the cost of prescription drugs, which we hear from our constituents all across the country. We have a crumbling infrastructure, and what we're going to do is America, and that will create 16 million good-paying jobs. We have a $1 trillion plan. The Republicans have a fake plan. Our plan will actually result in increased pay for those who are involved in rebuilding our crumbling bridges, roads, tunnels, mass transportation system, and ports. And we're also hearing from our constituents that they want us to do something about cleaning up corruption in Washington so that government works for them, not for the privileged few. And so that's what we're going to be focused on as part of our For the People agenda, not for the privileged, for the people.
Congressman, great to see you.
Thank you.
Always. Hakeem Jeffries joining me here in New York.